You're watching a special edition of the Wellness Hour, the leader in medical news and information. I'm Randy Alvarez. We're in front of Huntington Beach Hospital today. We are giving you a behind-the-scenes look at weight loss surgery. We've waited a long time to do a story on this subject, and we sought out the best of the best, and we landed right here at Huntington Beach Hospital. It's called the N.E.W program. If you or a loved one are considering weight loss surgery, my advice, stick around for the latest edition of the Wellness Hour.
The Wellness Hour, an in-depth discussion with today's top physicians and medical leaders. And now, your host, Randy Alvarez.
Okay, we're in the lobby and we're going to meet with Tammy, and she's the nurse in charge of the operating rooms, making sure they're safe and the patients are taken care of. There she is. Hey, Tammy.
Hi, Randy. Welcome.
All right. Are you ready for us?
I am. Come on down.
Okay. Now, I said that you were in charge of the operating rooms. What is your role?
I am the operating room circulator.
Okay.
I'm in charge to make sure the surgeon, the circulator, the scrub tech have everything they need for the safety of the patient to get in and out as best as possible.
Okay. Now, you guys have what they call standards of excellence.
Yes, we do.
I was told this is more than just lip service here. Tell me about that.
Well, we treat everybody as an individual. We give them care like they're the only person that matters.
So we want you to take us through the process, what a patient can expect when they come in, when they check in. So where do they start?
Sure. Well, they start over in admitting,
Right.
and then we pick them up and we walk them over to the pre-op area. And inside this room where there's patients right now, so
Right.
we can't go in, we take their vital signs, have them change clothes, get ready for surgery. We give them a nice bed, warm blanket, start their IV. And then
Do you see them
I
in this
do
process?
see them, but I'll see them in just a few minutes after the pre-op nurse does her first assessment of the chart to make sure we have all the paperwork. And then the anesthesiologist and myself come and we ask questions over questions just to make sure that we're talking to the right patient, right surgery, that there's no mistakes given.
Right, right.
I'm going to take you into the operating room right now where Dr. Queberman does his surgeries. This is where the patient goes, and anesthesia is there to greet the patient. We put on all kinds of monitors for safety. These are our monitors that the doctor uses during the laparoscopic procedure, and it only takes about an hour and a half or so for the procedure, makes tiny little incisions, and before you know it, it's already done.
You're watching the Wellness Hour, the leader in medical news and information. I'm Randy Alvarez. We are on location today. We're at the N.E.W program here in Newport Beach. We're about to meet Dr. Queberman. We're going to go behind the scenes and let you know what you can expect if you're considering weight loss surgery. Dr. Queberman, just in time.
Well, I'm glad you could come.
Yeah, thanks for allowing our cameras here.
Well, let me take you through the place and kind of show you what we've done.
Yeah.
Our center is basically set up around weight loss surgery.
Why do you call it the N.E.W program, by the way?
The N.E.W program? Well, N.E.W stands for Nutrition, Exercise, and Wellness.
Okay.
The components that we think are the most important lifestyle change are get adequate nutrition for our patients, make sure they exercise, and sort of develop a feeling of wellness. And the surgery sort of sets this all up. So that's why we call it the N.E.W
You have a
program.
huge center here.
Yeah.
Weight Control Radio, Education Center.
Well, let me take you over here and show you the different parts.
Okay.
Right over here we have the Educational Center, and the reason I'm starting with this is because patient education allows the patients to decide what procedures they want and also to get the education they need to maximize their success after surgery.
So the patients are looking at these screens and looking at what?
Well, actually, the screensavers are pictures of our patients.
Okay.
And the reason that the monitors are here is because each one is a workstation, and the workstations have the surgical process, the preoperative process, the aftercare, information about the different surgeries, what to expect, things that help the patients with their follow-up, and basically allow them to be the most educated patients.
You have a support program you've set up as well. I mean, people can talk to your patients.
Yeah, actually they can come talk. In fact, this booklet over here is sort of an introduction to some of the patients who have volunteered to put their names in here as people who are willing to speak to patients who are interested in surgery. It's a mentor program, that's correct.
So these people want to be contacted?
Yeah, these people have signed up and said, look, if you're interested in surgery and you have any questions, and you'd like to speak to a patient who's already had the surgery, contact me. I'll tell you what I think. And we have any one of our patients can sign up for this. And
you have hundreds of these people?
We have hundreds of these people.
You've done over 1,000 surgeries. Is that correct?
Yes, well over 1,000, and all laparoscopic.
All laparoscopic.
All of our surgeries are done laparoscopic. In fact,
people from all over the world anticipating this interview. And by the way, for those of you just tuning in, we're talking about weight loss surgery today with one of the leading experts, Dr. Quibberman. I've been told people come from all over the world to come right here and have it done there at the hospital, at Huntington Beach Hospital.
Right, they do. And I think that's because we have a comprehensive program, a dedicated team, and we have excellent results. And so people can kind of learn this through the internet. And
I mean, we've talked a little off camera. I mean, you made a bold statement. You said this is probably one of the most comprehensive in the world. You believe that?
It is. I believe it is. And our goal is to be the most comprehensive in the world.
So after the procedure, it only takes about an hour and a half or so.
So the procedure itself?
The procedure itself, because it's laparoscopic,
it
only takes about an hour and a half or so. They go to the recovery room, they stay there.
This is the recovery room?
This is the recovery room. They stay there for about an hour. And then they go
That's
to...
it, an hour? And they're...
An hour, as long as their vital signs are stable, their pain is under control. We take...
They're wheeled right out of here?
Yes, they are in their bed directly from the operating room onto their bed, and then they get moved to their room, which happens to be one of the best rooms that we have in the hospital. It's a private room, extra roomy, and because it's a laparoscopic procedure and not an open procedure, they go home in maybe a day or two, and they're up later that day.
So after the surgery, even the large patient, they're home in
a
a couple of days?
It just doesn't matter. They have very little complications.
How soon can they walk?
That day.
Is that right?
Later that day, they get up, walk around. It's best for them, and everything works out.
You're watching The Wellness Hour, the leader in medical news and information. I'm Randy Alvarez. We are on location today. We're in the patient education room at the new program here in Newport Beach with Dr. Quibberman. Today's topic, weight loss surgery. Dr. Quibberman, thanks for allowing our cameras on location today.
Well, thanks for coming.
Let's talk about the new program at Huntington Beach Hospital. You say they have a great team, great facility, great anesthesiologist. Tell me about the program.
Well, the program at Huntington Beach Hospital has been a laparoscopic bariatric surgery program for 4.5 years.
Okay.
That's all we do. The anesthesiologists that I work with are the same anesthesiologists I've worked with from the beginning. So they're specialists.
How important are they, by the way? Because I've heard that's a major concern of patients.
Yeah, and I'm happy to say that I work with a couple of phenomenal anesthesiologists, some of the best I've ever worked with in my training or since I've been in private practice.
Okay.
They're extremely good, and they're very skilled at taking care of patients that have excess weight. And there's some very specific nuances for patients with excess weight. And after they've done surgery on 500 patients, and they do it every single week, I'd say they're some of the best in the business.
So let's talk about outcomes, results with this
results.
procedure.
Yeah, everything hinges on results. If you can do the surgery expertly as a laparoscopic surgeon, the results are phenomenal. But that includes a team in the operating room, a team on the floor, the nursing team, and also an aftercare program. So at Huntington Beach Hospital, we have a dedicated OR staff, the same people over and over. This makes it routine, so that anything unusual comes up, and unusual things come up now and then, you just incorporate it into the operation and take the patient through it safely. And what you need to have is consistency, a protocol, similarity. It's actually kind of like a football team.
Okay.
They learn the plays, and they run the plays over and over every time. So when I talk to a patient, the patient says, "Doctor, I know you can do the surgery, but what about everything else?" I feel confident saying I have an expert team that's been doing it with me for 4 years.
So I wanted you to talk to Lori because I think you'll have a lot of good questions for her.
Okay.
Because she's going to be going through the bariatric experience with a family member, and here's Lori.
Lori,
Hi, Randy.
how are you? Now, I
Fine,
talked to
thank you.
Tammy, and she said one of our nurses who works in the OR, her own son is getting the procedure, bariatric procedure. I said, we have to talk to her. So thanks for being part of this interview.
You're welcome.
Now, tell us your role here at Huntington Beach Hospital.
I'm a nurse here. I'm the charge nurse in the outpatient department.
Okay.
I've worked at this hospital for a number of years, approximately 22 years.
Now, you said something to me off camera. You said, I've been doing this for 25 years. I guess your son could have gone anywhere for the surgery. Tell me about that.
Well, that is correct. I really believe in this program. I've seen the way this hospital brings patients in and the kind of quality care they give them, and both pre-op and post-op. And I totally believe in the Dr. Q, and I see the good
Dr. Q is Dr. Quibberman.
Correct. We call him Dr.
Okay.
Q just for short, but it's Dr.
Now,
Quibberman.
why him? I hear, of course, we're doing a story on this topic of weight loss surgery. But what sets him apart, at least in your eyes?
Well, Like I said, I've been a nurse for a long time, and there's only a few doctors and surgeons out there that I would totally trust with my son, and I totally trust him.
Now with Dr. Quibberman, he has a perfect track record, I've been told. Is that right?
Correct, that's true. There's been no mortalities. He also has a very, very good record for being able to do it all laparoscopically.
So you feel that the doctor is very important. Seems like an obvious one.
Very important, absolutely. And this doctor, that's Dr. Quibberman, that is all that he does is bariatric surgery. He's not a general surgeon. He doesn't do gallbladders, appendix removal, so on and so forth.
So that's going on. That's going on nationwide, I guess.
That's right. And also there's a lot of doctors that are surgeons that are getting into this type of surgery without the proper training.
Final message. What do you want people to know about the new program here at Huntington Beach Hospital?
I think they would be very impressed with the quality of care that they would receive here, with the quality of care from their surgeon, and all the new program. Everything about it has just been wonderful for us so far.
But you're biased. You work here.
That's true, but statistically we have a better program than anywhere else.
Great. Well, I want to thank you for
You're
sharing your story.
welcome.
Good luck to you and your son.
Thank you so much. Okay.
We'll be right back. We're on location today. We're going behind the scenes. We're at Huntington Beach Hospital. We're talking about the new program for weight loss surgery. We'll be right back.
You've seen it on TV. You're probably watching it right now. The Wellness Hour, the leader in medical news and information, has been on your television over the last 5 years, is now on the web. Log on to wellnesshour.com, where you'll see some of the most intriguing interviews of today's top physicians. Wellnesshour.com provides links to all your favorite doctors seen on the show, links to email host Randy Alvarez, and more. Don't wait another minute. Log on to wellnesshour.com and start feeling better today. Wellnesshour.com. Log on now.
I've talked to some of the staff, your staff. They say the people that were turned down for surgery elsewhere have not been turned down here. I mean, you've moved forward with surgery after they were told they were good candidates. Tell me about that.
Well, I think that people get turned down for surgery for a lot of relatively frivolous reasons. Basically, when patients get turned down for surgery, it means that the surgeon in general doesn't feel comfortable in a certain setting. And it's probably appropriate that that surgeon...
Well, for example, like what?
Well, for example, a patient that's really heavy.
Okay.
You know, which I find kind of, shocking, because the surgery is designed for heavy people. But when they turn down a patient saying you're too large for laparoscopic surgery...
Like 200 pounds overweight, 250 pounds overweight?
Whatever the number is, 200 pounds overweight, the patient's 400 pounds, and they say my cutoff's 350. Basically, my philosophy is the bigger the patient is, the more they benefit from the laparoscopic surgery.
Interesting.
The reason is the laparoscopic incisions are about that big, half an inch, okay, or a quarter inch. They're quite small. And you have 5 or 6 of these incisions and the surgery is over. That's the same for a patient that's 800 pounds or a patient that's 250 pounds. So that's dramatically different than taking a patient 800 pounds and making a 2-foot incision on their abdomen. We still have the same small little incisions, so the recovery is much faster. And with a patient that's heavier, they actually don't move that well before surgery, and you don't want to do anything with the surgery or during the surgery to inhibit their ability to recover after. So
I have been told, what do you say to the person that says, especially for the bigger patient, you don't want to do it laparoscopically? Just not true?
Not true. Not true. The surgery, in my opinion, if a surgeon says, especially for a larger patient, you don't want to do it laparoscopically, then you need to find another surgeon.
Is that being told out there to some patients?
Well, unfortunately, yes.
Okay, just because they, so what is your feeling? Why are they saying this? They're training?
I think it's a comfort level. They're probably not adequately trained. And then if that patient is you, you're being told that the surgeon is not adequately trained to do the surgery for you. And my advice would be go find another surgeon, because there are surgeons out there that'll do the surgery on 800 to 1,000 pounds. It's not very many surgeons, but those are surgeons that are probably the best in the field.
Now, doing my research on this story, found out a lot of doctors doing this part-time. They're doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that. What is your feeling about that? I guess this is all you do. That's why we wanted to talk to you.
Well, my feeling is that in 10 years that won't be the case.
Okay.
I don't think anybody should be doing this surgery part-time. I think this is either what you do or you don't do it at all.
And the poor patient doesn't know the difference?
Well, they can ask. They can
Just
ask.
ask. Is this
Sure.
all you do?
Yeah, they can say, do you do thyroid surgery, and are you doing, you know, hernias? If you're doing a hernia that day and a bariatric surgery, or a hernia that week and then a bariatric surgery and then a thyroid or a gallbladder, maybe that person is not a specialist.
You're watching The Wellness Hour. I'm Randy Alvarez. We are in the living room here. We're talking about bariatric surgery today of Holly, who's allowed our cameras in her home to discuss her weight loss. Thanks, Holly.
Thank you.
Now, you've lost 150 pounds.
Yes.
Now, I'm looking at these before and after photos. What'd you feel like here, for example, and here, and here? What'd you feel like?
A big fat mom.
Is that right?
I did. I just felt huge. I was uncomfortable. I couldn't do anything.
Now, you made a comment to me. You said, I live in Orange County. People are in great shape here. And you didn't want to go out.
No.
Is that right?
I wanted to stay in my house.
Okay.
I didn't look like all the other moms in South Orange County. And I just felt very uncomfortable when I would go to the mommy play dates or doing things with other moms at the park. I felt like I stood out like a sore thumb. I just didn't want to leave the house.
Now, the people at Huntington Beach Hospital say it's very common that this is one of those procedures where people say, I wish I would have done it years before.
Oh,
Dr.
absolutely.
Quibman said the same thing.
I wish I would have done it a lot sooner. I didn't know enough about it, but I did it the minute that I figured out that was for me. I didn't hesitate.
What do you say to those skeptics that frown upon this procedure, saying that she just needed to diet and exercise?
I can't even begin to tell you that that is not what it's about.
You tried everything?
Oh, absolutely. I am a lifetime member to every diet club in America.
Now, looking at these photos, when you were 150 pounds heavier, you're smiling in every one of them, but were you basically a miserable person, unhappy person?
I
Did weight really bother you?
pretended to be the happy fat chick
Really?
because I didn't want anybody else to know how unhappy I really was.
Were you really that unhappy?
Yeah, I was.
You told me on a personal note about Dr. Quibman that you thought he had a perfectionistic attitude.
Yeah.
Comment about that.
Dr. Quibman is definitely a perfectionist, but in a surgeon, that's what you want.
Okay.
I am impressed with his dedication that this is what he loves to do, and he is good at it. I have talked to many patients afterwards, and everybody says the same thing, that they all had great results with him. He's very professional, very accommodating. He answers all your questions.
Anything about the whole process with the weight loss surgery that you didn't anticipate that happened?
I think I didn't anticipate the level of aftercare.
Okay.
I was really impressed with the nutritionist that was on staff to answer all my questions about food, because this was new to me. Learning how to eat correctly and learning how to eat healthy was different for me. So I did have questions, and I loved that they had support groups where I could interact with other patients who have had the surgery, because other patients are a great source of information.
Okay. Now, there are going to be people that are watching this that are 100 pounds overweight, and they know who they are. Some of them may be in denial. What do you say to them about the surgery, about doing something about it?
Don't wait. Take back your life. You're letting life pass you by.
Is that an overstatement, though? Take back your life?
I
got
know
my
it
life
sounds a
back.
little campy, but I think
But
it's
is it?
absolutely true.
Did you get your life back?
Oh, yeah. And tenfold. I do things now that I never thought I would do.
Like?
I water ski.
Okay.
I wakeboard. I love being outside. I go rollerblading with my kids, although not very well.
So they got their mom back.
Oh, yeah. And I think they got the mom back that they didn't know they could have. Because like I said, there's things I wouldn't have even tried before.
So was there a turning point where, I mean, do you remember that day when you said, I've got to have this surgery? Something happened?
I think when the light bulb went off, it was Christmas time. And looking at the pictures from Christmas Day, when I'm down on the floor with my kids in front of the tree opening presents, I was appalled at what I looked like. And I know getting on the floor to play with my kids was a major chore because I couldn't get back up.
You actually couldn't get up.
It was very hard. It was very hard to get back up.
You were 257 pounds?
275 at my
275.
highest. Yeah, sad to say that, but 275.
Amazing. When you look at these photos, when was the last time you looked at these?
I try not to.
You try not to look at these photos.
I don't like to remember.
So this
that
doesn't
time.
motivate you at all? This is somewhat depressing?
Yeah, well, it's frustrating that I was at that point.
And we're out of time. And I want to thank you, by the way, for allowing our cameras in your living room here to talk about this. Final message.
Yes.
And obviously you're an advocate of weight loss surgery, gastric bypass surgery. Final message to those people that are watching this, that they have a loved one or they themselves could be good candidates. What do you say to them?
I would just say, talk to your doctor and don't wait. It's absolutely worth it.
Okay, since we're showing the process, okay, they've heard about the program. Where does this start? They meet with you first?
Well, actually, the first thing they do, let me show you the clinic.
Okay.
In the clinic, we see all our patients one-on-one. Our nutritionist sees the patients one-on-one. Our psychologist sees the
Does
patients
all this happen before they meet with you?
Well,
The
actually,
psychologist, the nutritionist?
they see the nutritionist and the psychologist, but we all see them in the same day, actually.
Okay.
Our idea is to make this as simple for the patients as possible. Some of them come from a distance, as I've mentioned before, and what we want to do is we want to be able to get them through the process efficiently, get them the education they need, and then really set them up so that they can have the most successful surgery possible and the safest surgery possible.
Is this a consult room we're looking at?
Well, this is an examination room, and what we
Very
do
large.
here, what we do here is we want to be able to get the patient in here, their family in here, anybody who's involved
Okay.
with the process, their support system.
But you get the family involved.
Absolutely.
Is that something?
Well, the family is the support structure for the patients, and we really need to embrace the whole group
Okay.
of people, not just the patient themselves. It's a lifestyle process. The surgery sets it up, but then the rest of the education and the learning and the follow-up is all designed to maximize the success of the surgery. So,
What do you say to those people, though, that, okay, they want to do it, but they failed so many times that they're worried that they will get the surgery and they'll gain their weight back? Because there are those stories of those people.
right. If you have a patient in your room and you're talking to them, and they came all the way in to have weight loss surgery, I make my reputation on their success.
Okay.
But between the two of us, I understand that that patient in the room is more dedicated to their success than I am. And I'm very dedicated to their success. So all we have to do is educate them.
Okay.
That's what our educational program and the philosophy that we bring with it adds. We educate the patient and empower them to help us make them be successful. There's another aspect to it, actually.
Okay.
These patients, actually the first 100 patients I operated on, I went back and looked. They were on an average of 21 organized diet programs. How many diet programs have you been on?
Sure.
I haven't been on any.
No, I've been on a few, though.
Have you? I haven't been on any. But, so I've never needed to, but that's luck.
Okay.
I'm lucky. So my food preferences result in me not gaining weight. Unfortunately for them, theirs did. And their dedication to lose the weight resulted in an average of 21 organized diet programs, which they all failed eventually.
Okay.
Okay, in fact, I call diet programs personal persecution programs because really it's all negative. Don't, stay away from, avoid, things that I really don't want my patients to say. But what I do with the surgery is we level the playing field. So they're like you and I, okay?
They get a second chance.
Yeah, they get a chance.
Okay.
They didn't have a chance. They get a chance. The playing field's leveled. Now, we give them the options, okay? You either work with us or well, we don't do that. We give them the opportunity to work with us, and then we educate them. And the patients just take the ball and run with it, so to speak. They actually get involved and they make the thing work. The surgery sets it up. So at first, it's extremely easy for them to lose the weight. But then the patient realizes that what they're really here for is to improve their quality of life. And by following our guidelines, they dramatically improve their quality of life. And they enjoy it.
So what percentage of your patients tell you, doctor, I can't believe it, I have self-control for the first time. My cravings have gone away. A big percentage? Most of them?
Almost all of them.
Okay.
It's really significant.
Are the patients surprised, by the way?
The patients are always surprised. They come in and they say, Doc, my food preferences have changed. Doc, I like eating fish, and I didn't like eating fish before. And you know, my message to them is you always liked eating fish.
Okay.
You always liked it. It always tasted good to you. It's just that you were able to eat so much more that you ate that a little bit, and then you went on to other things. Now that you're eating smaller amounts more frequently, or you have different eating patterns, and you're really focusing on getting things in that have nutrition.
Okay.
And things that taste good, because you're only going to eat a small amount. They focus on things that are healthy for them. It's just, it's almost like we don't have to do a lot except for point them in the right direction. But the surgery is a thing that really points them in the right direction. We kind of explain it to them, and that's it.
Now, a lot of physicians watch this program. What do you say to them about what you're doing and how safe and how healthy this may be for the long run for their patients?
Well, it's very simple, really. For the physicians that are watching this program, or physicians that we speak to, we make it clear that the evidence says that morbid obesity and clinically severe obesity is much more hazardous to your health than having bariatric surgery. Period. All of the evidence says that.
Okay.
So, in our opinion, if the patient is interested, is qualified statistically based on their size, their height, the amount of excess weight they have, they should be referred to a bariatric surgery program and given the option.
Okay.
Okay, it's the best for them medically, it's the best for them psychologically, and it'll put them back into society and make them a much more functional member of society. It's best for their family.
You really believe that?
Absolutely, it happens, and it happens all the time. We see it all the time. Our patients come back and tell us that.
You make a big to-do about some of the results, the patients you have. You have galas, you have these balls, fashion shows. Why is that necessary?
Well, it's
or maybe it's not necessary. Why do you like doing that?
Well, the reason I like it is because it sort of underscores and points out to the patients, you're a success now. You're a normal person.
Interesting. Good.
Yeah. We have a fashion show. We have patients that go skydiving. They ask us, what do you think I should do when I lose my weight? I say, I don't know. Go skydiving. So I've had 2 patients say, okay, fine, I'll go skydiving. They both sent me a picture of them skydiving, and they couldn't have done it before because you can't do that if you're over 200 pounds. Their life is different, and those galas and the parties and the things that we do to point out to our patients that they're now successful sort of empowers them to continue with their success. And it reminds them that they're the ones who are successful. We help them get there. And to help them get there, you have to do the surgery correctly. You have to educate the patient about how the surgery works, and then support them. And the patients are so dedicated, they do it themselves. They just take those tools and they do it themselves. So having a party is, we call it our celebration of life party. And the patients have sort of re-entered life, re-entered society, and it's very enjoyable.
Dr. Quibman, thank you for allowing our cameras here on location here, and very interesting.
Well, I'm glad you came.
Sure. You've been watching The Wellness Hour, the leader in medical news and information. I'm Randy Alvarez. If you would like to see this program online, visit our website at wellnesshour.com. For now, I wish you good health.